Last year, I met a single mum in Phoenix who told me that rising prices almost made her quit her job. Why? Because it was cheaper to stay home than pay for gas, food, and childcare. She looked me in the eye and said, I just want a break. Well, today, that break just came. President Trump just hit the brakes on tariffs, slashing them to 10% across the board for most countries, and it's going to change everything. But before you celebrate too soon, there's a twist. A bold move aimed at China could light a fire that nobody's ready for. But just before we take a deep dive, it's imperative you hit that like and subscribe buttons so you get notified the minute we produce another game-changing video that affects your finances. I promise you'll appreciate it. So buckle up and let's plunge straight in. So Trump just paused the tariff war. So at exactly 12:01 a.m., President Trump issued an executive order. All tariffs on imports from 75 plus countries will be paused for 90 days and set to a flat 10% rate. Now, this includes everyday goods like groceries, electronics, and building materials. And that means no more chaotic spikes in pricing, no more guessing games at the pump or the checkout line. But this doesn't apply to everyone. China just got slammed with a 125% tariff. Let me say that again. While we're easing up on most countries, China is getting punched in the mouth. Why? Well, Trump's team say it's because of China's lack of respect for the world market and their retaliation against the US. This is classic Trump strategy: squeeze, negotiate, and force the other party to blink first. But this time, the stakes are way higher. So in just a minute, I'll show you why this so-called pause might secretly be a setup for a total trade system overhaul, and how you can benefit before it even happens. And no, this is not just about inflation, it's about jobs, debt, and even the housing market. So let me explain why this helps you directly, even if you hate politics. Well, lower tariffs equals lower costs. So that TV that you wanted, well, it's 10% cheaper. Groceries, stabilized. Gas, less pressure. No more recession talks. Big banks like JP Morgan were screaming about a 60% chance of a recession, and that's just dropped hard. More jobs stay here. This is also a pivot back to made in America. If China goods cost 125% more to import, guess what? Companies are going to start producing here again, which means more local jobs and less dependence on foreign suppliers. But here's what nobody is telling you. This may be the opening move to a bigger fight that could affect you. So insiders at major US ports are reporting something very strange. Goods are just sitting there. Business owners are refusing to pick up shipments. Why? Because of the tariffs. They literally can't afford them. Some containers are being sent back to China unpaid. Now, that alone could crash entire supply chains if it snowballs. And now, experts are warning China could strike back, not with goods, but cyber attacks and supply chain sabotage. And remember this: many of our ports use Chinese-made cranes. So if tensions rise further, that infrastructure could be a liability, not an asset. Are we ready for that? And are you ready for the cliffhanger? So what happens after 90 days? Could it flip everything? Well, this 90-day tariff pause feels like a gift, right? But the question is, what happens on day 91? Will Trump extend the pause? Will he double down on tariffs for countries that don't comply? Or is this whole pause just the calm before a massive restructuring of global trade? Well, my friends, we're about to find out. So yes, millions of Americans will benefit right now. Prices down, markets up, pressure off. But the bigger battle, well, it hasn't even started yet. So if you want to stay ahead of it, understand how these moves affect your wallet, your job, and your future, please make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on behind the headlines, drop a comment below saying, I'm watching for day 91. Oh, and while I remember that mum in Phoenix, she texted me this morning, gas is down, I'm going back to work next week. That's the power of policy. So let's hope this momentum holds.